Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And we are back with another topical video. We bring these to you every Tuesday, and this week we're talking about 4 bottles of bourbon. Yes, bourbon.
All bourbon?
All bourbon.
Okay.
That we have tried, completely finished the bottles, and we're going to give you our synopsis on what we thought about them, whether we would rebuy them or not if given the opportunity. This is inspired by Car and Driver's long-term road tests that they do. It's oftentimes that we, as whiskey tubers and other whiskey channels, will review a bottle when they first get it.
Yeah.
But you don't often hear about the experience at the end of the bottle.
What the final result is.
Right. And being able to contextualize your thoughts on that bottle over a course of time is really helpful. We think, hopefully you do as well. And if you do, like the video, and if you like this style of content, subscribe, because this is what we do all the time over here. And if you want to get on our barrel picks, check the video description below for that. You can join the community, you can get involved, you can get access to the barrel picks, all that stuff. But we'll get the pitch out of the way and get right into the main topic here.
Let's do it.
Let's go ahead and get into our first bottle as I'm knocking stuff around.
Yep.
And this is going to be Weller Special Reserve. Now, before we get into this, let's go ahead and say, comment below on these bottles. If there's one that stands out to you, a few, if you want to comment on all 4, that's fine as well. Let us know if you're a rebuy on these. So for this particular bottle, it's a very interesting conversation because Weller is a very propped up, hyped up product. Even the Special Reserve, which is a bottom shelf, low quality
You're
pour.
using these terms loosely.
Well, it's not loose. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's their lowest bottom shelf offering.
It's Weller's lowest bottom shelf offering.
It's a budget bottle of whiskey. It tastes like a budget bottle of whiskey. It tastes like a good budget bottle of whiskey.
This is also 90 proof as well,
Yeah.
which we don't tend to have a lot of 90 proof whiskeys that we rebuy.
Right. This one should be $25. There are stores that mark this up to $100, $150. It's a terrible bottle of whiskey at those prices. At $20-25, it's a fine bottle of whiskey. You're not getting ripped off for the value. Would I pay $30 for it? Maybe. Probably not, to be honest with you, having had it. This is not our first bottle of it. This is just happens to be when we're filming. It happens to be a bottle that we finished very recently, as of a few days ago. It's fine. It's good. It's enjoyable for $25.
But for $100, it's a hard pass.
This is the note I want to make. When this stuff was readily available before all the hype and all that stuff came into the equation, this was a bottom shelf whiskey that sat on the shelves.
Really?
Nobody bought it. And now that it's hyped up, people are clamoring for it. People are overpaying for it. So just know that if you're overpaying for it, what you're paying for is the rarity of it nowadays because of the demand being so high. You're not paying for a quality whiskey. This is not a $100 whiskey. This is a $25 bottle of whiskey.
Which is what they priced it at originally.
It's almost like the distillery knew what they were talking about. Let's go ahead and get that one out of the way and get into the next one that we finished. And this, it's going to be Wild Turkey 101. Buy it, rebuy it for sure.
It's all day.
Did we say on the Weller, we're like, we'll buy it again at $25.
Yeah, $25 we'll buy it, but at higher than that,
nah, we're out. This though, rebuy, faux show.
Yep.
$25 for this bottle as well.
Yep.
Much better whiskey than the Weller, in our opinion.
In our opinion, it's more catered to our taste profile. That's why we think it's better.
And that's a really good point because palates differ.
Yep.
The Weller is soft, it's sweet, it's approachable, it's easy to drink. Wild Turkey 101 brings a little bit more of the spices, the baking spices to the equation, kind of puts you in that zone.
So,
it brings some darkness to the equation.
And sometimes it can drink a little higher proof than 101 proof, which I kind of enjoy.
It can come across a little hot if you have a kind of beginner palate and you're not used to higher proof stuff. But honestly, if you're used to the 90 proof zone, you would be well served to buy a bottle of this for $25 and give it a shot.
Yeah.
And work with the bottle over a period of time.
Yeah.
Don't just taste it once and be like, oh boy, that's so hot. I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Give it a chance. Put it over ice if you need to. Put it in a cocktail. Get used to the flavor profile. There is some spice there, but there is so much more flavor packed inside of this bottle than something like the Weller Special Reserve. $25. This is a reason. There's a reason why this is like an all-star, top of list value bottle for pretty much everybody that is a whiskey enthusiast ever. They know what they're doing. those Russells over there at Wild Turkey. Fantastic whiskey. Speaking of fantastic whiskey, let's go ahead and roll into our next one.
What's next?
This is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, specifically batch B522, this bottle, which we finished recently. But the reason we're bringing this into the equation is because this was actually on a prior buy or rebuy, and that was kind of coming on the heels of a lot of the 2021 releases. And 2021 was a little bit of a rough year for Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
I think it was a rough year for a lot of people.
That's
for
fair.
all of us. Let's just be honest.
But 2022, Heaven Hill totally redeemed themselves. And of all the batches that were out there, this was our favorite.
Yep.
C922 is also very good and probably the better Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, but B522 we think is the better bourbon. It's more balanced, it's more drinkable. You still get all the depth and the richness and the heft that you want out of an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof for the most part, but it's just more drinkable and it's really sweet. If you see a bottle of this somehow sitting on the shelves now.
What's the price of this one?
Well, and this is the problem. It can range between $70 to $100.
Oh, that's pretty pricey.
In our market, it's usually $90. In a lot of markets, it's $80. In a few markets, it's still $70. Okay. Here's why this is a rebuy. Even though the price is up there, even in our market at $90, they've redeemed themselves with these batches in 2022. The 2023 batches are now starting to get released, and by all accounts, they're very good as well. We don't have one yet, but we've heard very good things. Heaven Hill Distillery seems to be turning the tides on that little bit of a rocky patch that they had in 2021, and the whiskey is just fantastic. And when you factor in the age, this is a 12-year batched product.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
With the minimum age being 12 years. It could have older whiskey in it. You're getting it at barrel proof. If you don't like barrel proof whiskey, you can add water. You can try it over ice.
Yeah, that's helpful.
It holds up to it very well. This is a fantastic product that honestly, there's a reason why whiskey nerds love this stuff. It comes out 3 times a year. It's worth buying any batch that you can possibly get your hands on. Speaking of releases that don't come out all the time, but do come out every once in a while, we're going to go ahead and cap this video off talking about Stagg Junior.
I have a love-hate relationship with Stagg Junior, y'all.
This is no longer Junior. Now they've dropped the Junior. They're on the 18th batch.
It's able to vote. It's able to vote.
It's able to vote. So
in the United States, anyway.
This is batch 14, 130.2 proof. However,
I do like this batch.
It's hard to talk about this specific batch without talking about batch 15 that we've owned, batch 16 that we've tried, batch 12 and 13 that we've tried, batch 17 that we own. We now have batch 18 that we just got, haven't opened it yet.
I didn't know that.
We do.
So I'm interested to try batch 18 because I liked batch 14 a lot. I like batch 15.
Yep.
Did not like batch 17.
You're not the only one.
At all.
I liked it.
I'm a hard pass on batch 17, so I'm interested in trying batch 18.
Batch 17 was a little bit of an outlier. That was the year that George T. Stagg didn't come out in the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. There's rumors they put some of that whiskey in the Stagg Junior batch. Some people...
I don't care what it was, I just didn't like it.
Some people noted, you and other people who have channels noted this very off-putting sour note in it. Almost like an acidic sourness in it. I didn't get that. 17 is fine for me. I do prefer 14 and 15 over 17. I actually prefer all the batches 12 through 16 over 17. I can't wait to try batch 18. But the question here is this a rebuy? And it's a hard question because you can't find this stuff. The only reason
Junior.
Stagg. The only reason we get it is because we're loyal to a local store. And sometimes they get it in and we have to ask for it. But if we're on top of the ball, we might have a small chance at getting it. Otherwise, we have to get it at a raffle.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get lucky at like an end of year thing or whenever this releases. So
to me, honestly, while I did like this specific batch, as a whole, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah. And I think that's...
I'm a bye-bye.
Knowing her, I think that's a true statement. For me, at $60, should be $50 or $60 at retail. I'm a buy. Easy buy. No questions asked. $80, I'm a buy, and I still feel okay. I paid $80 for our batch 18. I paid $100 for the batch 17.
Oh, you got ripped off, dude.
I like 17, but at $100, that's kind of my threshold for Stagg Junior.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable going above that. It is Kentucky bourbon that's aged somewhere rumored to be 6 to 9 years. barrel strength. There's a whole lot of Kentucky bourbon that's barrel strength that's in that same like proof and age range. This isn't bringing anything to the table that is inherently remarkable. This is legitimately just people enjoying the Buffalo Trace flavor profile. And if you like that, it might be the best thing in the world for you if you like that profile and you like high proof. But if you like other profiles as well, like me personally, I like a darker profile and I want a little bit more depth than the Buffalo Trace sweetness brings to the table. I would rather have an Elijah Craig barrel proof batch that brings some fruity elements to the equation as well, over a Stagg Junior batch, or Stagg now as it is. So I know a lot of people in the comments might light me up for that take, because people will pay $250 for a bottle of this stuff. No questions asked.
I mean,
I just don't think it's worth that.
It's their money, and we're just telling you how we spend our money.
Right. If I were going to spend $200 on a bottle of whiskey, I would get something like a 4-Gate. I would get something for less than that. I would get like a Found North whiskey with a bourbon mash bill. I would get almost anything else other than spending $200+ on a Stagg Junior or Stagg bourbon batch.
And that's
I just don't think it's worth that much money
for us, and that's fine.
Yeah. If you have a different opinion, leave it in the comments below. We all have different palates.
Leave your different opinion, but also be nice.
Yeah,
don't be
nice
mean.
Always. And if you like the style of content, like the video. And if you want more of this content, style of content, then subscribe to the channel. And if you want, wait, did I say this at the beginning?
You did.
Oh yeah, check our barrel picks out in the Patreon description.
Check it out.
Patreon link in the video description below. Do that too.
Josh is talking too much. I'm going to cut him off.
All right, we're out of here.
Be good to each other. And until next time,
Cheers.